What up, little babies? It's your girl Neek, and I'm back with another recap, a review. Today we're going to get into P-Valley episode 7 season 2. Now we're going to get into two main subjects that happen in the show. The first thing that happened was Terica had an abortion. She had an abortion, and I'm happy she chose that route because it wouldn't look right for a 14-year-old to be carrying a baby or pregnant with a child. It's just not right. It's not acceptable, and we're not gonna act like if that was your child, you wouldn't want her to have an abortion. So we're just gonna leave that there. Now let's get into Lil Murda. Lil Murda is showing his compassionate side. He's also showing that, look, I'm not a thug ass nigga. I know how to be, you know, compassionate and care for people. And he showed that when it came down to Grandma Ernestine this episode. You know, she also had a hard time this episode as well. But they are calling his name. They looking for him. They are checking for Lil Murda, baby. They want him to come back on the scene and get on another tour, another Dirty Dozen tour. Part 2, and we're gonna see how that work out for him. Hopefully it goes well for him. Hopefully we can see him on another tour with him, Brody, and Miss Mississippi, and they can just all be together and make this shmoney. Now let's get into Grandma Ernestine. She was having a rough time this episode. She was going through the coronavirus symptoms, and you know, that wasn't looking good for people in 2020 at that time throughout this pandemic. And we're still going through a pandemic, you guys, so don't forget that. She was dreaming about performing in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, different decades, and it just showed us, you know, from a different light about her. And you know what, that makes me think, are they gonna kill her off this episode? Is she's gonna pass away this episode? Because that's what it's looking like. But it seems like the virus did take over her, and you know what, she had to deal with, she had to battle, you know, she had to battle against all those symptoms. And it even came to a point to where she even dreamt about her daughter coming to her, asking her like, are you ready to go? Do you want? She's telling her mom, look, it's time, mom, it's time to go. What type of drink do you want? You know, that's what she's asking her. And Ernestine is like, no, I'm not ready to go. It's not my time. And, you know, eventually she woke up out of that dream. But she did have a rough time this episode, guys. And I'm really hoping that, you know, even though she left off in the ambulance to the hospital, hopefully everything works out for the best for Grandma Ernestine. So now we have Uncle Clifford and Autumn, and they are discussing the club and what's going to happen, because, you know, Autumn has been making deals on the side without Uncle Clifford, because she can do that. You know, she is part owner of the club, but they did offer $5 million, but Autumn was like, she's not going to accept less than $10 million. But Uncle Clifford was kind of like confused. He was like, why wouldn't you accept it? And he was kind of happy that she didn't accept it, because that is his home. That club is passed down through generations, and that is his home. So I understand that he don't want to give it up, but $5 million is a lot, and he actually was considering taking the $5 million. But we all know we don't know what's gonna happen, because the club being sold depends on the offer that she takes, whether or not the casino comes in town or not, whether or not they sell the property or not. So now let's get into Keyshawn and Autumn. Autumn actually runs into Keyshawn and Derek at the grocery store. I'm not sure if she was stalking her or looking for her or anything like that, but she ends up showing up at Derek and Keyshawn's house later on that night with a bag of shoes for the baby. And she ended up telling her this sad story about herself, Autumn. And she's telling this story to Keyshawn and letting Keyshawn know, like, look, when you get tired of running, when you get tired of the hunter, when you get tired of getting beat up and slapped on, when you get ready to learn how to swim like I did, let's call me. Autumn slips a cell phone in the Prada bag where it's supposed to be baby booties, and I thought that was kind of smart of her to do. And I know we all thought it was another gun. That's what I thought. I thought it was going to be some type of self-defense mechanism item up inside of the bag. I didn't know what to expect, but there was a cell phone there, and hopefully she uses it.